Hi, this is Greg McCoach, editor of the Mining Speculator. I'm here today with Bill Sheriff, Executive Chair of enCore Energy Corp, here at the Toronto Metals Investor Forum. Bill, welcome to the interview.
Thanks, Greg. Enjoy being with you. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a good presentation, and I think several things came to mind when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this interview. And this situation with Russia and what that's going to mean to the supply coming in through Florida there, South Florida. Let's talk about that, because I think that is the key point about why uranium is going to move here in the United States and around the world.
Yeah, I think the backdrop is fabulous. We finally got unanimity, well, maybe not unanimous, but certainly aligned interest in Congress for nuclear power, the realization we've got to go that way. The wind doesn't blow every day, and as all of us investors know, the sun doesn't shine every day. So you've got to have nuclear to accomplish the green energy. There's just no other way. And we present 19% of the power in the U.S. is nuclear, but 55% of the green power is nuclear. So it's finally time for it, and that is compounded or exacerbated by the geopolitical situation. And everybody knows we get 20% roughly of our uranium from Russia in the U.S. and what they don't realize is we get about 30% from Kazakhstan, and Kazakh uranium interests are almost exclusively controlled by the Russians. And in fact, all of the Kazakh exports go one of two routes, either A, through China, or if it's going to the Western world, it goes through St. Petersburg, Russia. And right now, there's zero shipping. Not just anybody can ship radioactive materials. So if you're shipping uranium, you have to have one of just a handful of licensed carriers in the world, none of which are servicing Russia. So we're going to be looking at some significant supply interruption. What you don't see is the immediate impact of it right now, just because these nuclear utilities don't go out and buy just in time like almost everything else in our economy. They contract out 2-3 years, If you've got a $10 billion or $20 billion now reactor sitting out back, chances are you're going to fuel it and make sure you have certainty of supply for the fuel, especially when it's such a small percentage of your operating budget. So we'll see that interruption hit. And, it's not a matter of will we, it's a matter of when we. And sometime in the next 18 months, we're going to see a significant event when that doesn't show up. And the utilities are aware of that. For the first time in probably 50 years, they're actually reaching out now to domestic U.S. producers or potential producers, of which there's really only a handful, 2 or 3. They're coming and inspecting facilities to see if you're going to be able to meet your contracts, things like that. So it's the whole dynamics have changed dramatically. And here again, the geopolitical thing, even if we were to suddenly have peace break out, which we all hope for, but seems somewhat unlikely. It's going to be years before those trade relationships are restored.
Absolutely.
So we've definitely got an issue, and it's with the recent announcement of the Biden administration to put $4.3 billion into securing a supply for the nuclear fuel chain aside from Russia. It hasn't passed Congress yet, but even if we get half of that, it'll be a huge shot in the arm to an industry that's the entire market cap of the whole industry is measured in double-digit billions. It's a pretty small industry for a pretty critical industry.
Absolutely, and that does put the focus on you guys being rapid development to move into production, ISR production, which of course is very technical, but very, very profitable if you have the right team. And you guys certainly have the right group. And kudos to you for it being able to keep that together during some very difficult times. I remember you and I at the Denver Gold Show back in 2014. I remember we were sitting there talking, well, what about uranium? And you just said, it's probably going to be a while, but I don't think either one of us knew it was going to be this long.
I said it's going to be 2 years out for a number of different 2-year periods. But the one thing that was consistent is you don't really have a uranium rally moving until you've got all the components moving. And that's something most people don't realize is it's not just like the gold market where you produce gold and you sell gold. In uranium, the nuclear power companies can buy conversion or enrichment or raw uranium, and they can basically substitute at different points in the fuel chain. So just having uranium go up a little bit, there were a number of times in the last 10 years I'd say, don't worry, it's not real. We're only up $5 or $6 in uranium, but it's not real yet because the other portions of the fuel cycle aren't coming along. So I wasn't particularly popular in the industry. But this time we've got all boats moving in the same direction now in terms of that. So this one's for real.
Yeah, and you guys
Japan's swinging around.
Yeah, you're well poised. enCore Energy is well poised. And I have a lot of subscribers that are very happy because I was recommending enCore when you were trading at 10, 12, 15 cents.
Yep.
So they've all made a
I
lot
remember.
of money. And, even though I was wrong on the timing too, from what I said, but they made money. They held on to enCore and they told me and emailed me, thankful that, enCore's done so well for us. So, I see opportunity, even at current prices, enCore is going to do very, very well in this next 18-month period with what we're talking about. And why don't you, just for the lay investor, why don't you explain a little bit about ISR, how you're using water to push minerals out of the ground?
Sure. Uranium generally occurs in sandstone, and sandstone generally hosts water if it's below the water table. What we do is incredibly environmentally friendly, and that's one of the reasons that permitting times are greatly reduced, reclamation times greatly reduced. Basically, we take groundwater, oxygenate it, re-inject it into the host sandstone. The oxygenated groundwater dissolves the uranium in place, goes into solution, pump it to the surface and run it through it's a water treatment plant, very much like you'd see in any municipality. And similarly, the municipalities remove contaminants. Well, that's our product is the uranium. Then we take that stripped groundwater, refortify it with oxygen and re-inject it, repeat the process over and over. And we're able to recover with using the oxygenated process, 80–85% of the uranium pretty typically.
Yeah, and you have multiple projects in the Western United States, the primary one in Texas, Wyoming, both great states for this kind of work. You have one in South Dakota as well now?
We do, and the principal thing that really put us ahead of the crowd, if you will, is our timely purchase of the assets of Westwater, which gave us 2 fully permitted ISR plants. There are only 10 that are built in the country, 11 that are licensed. And we bought 2 of those and have retrofitted one of them fully. The other one is operational, but it needs some computer enhancements. But we spent $1.5 million over the last year. Rosita will be top notch, ready to go here within the next month or so. And then we'll be putting the well field in. We're already starting it, but it'll be finished. And as UXC, the industry trade letter mentioned, we're one of only 2 companies in North America with contracts for next year. The other one being Cameco. So we're in good company.
You are. And I hope investors appreciate the combination of assets that you have at a critical time for uranium and for energy in general, for power through nuclear power. So with that, is there any last comments you'd like to make, Bill, before we?
No, it's just, like I say, it's a bit of a perfect storm. We're seeing plants licenses extended. We're seeing capacity generation extended. Every time they do that, it's more uranium being consumed. Similar to if you drive 50 miles an hour, you don't consume as much gas as you do at 70. And many of the new licenses are being issued at higher power requirements or thresholds so they can generate more electricity. The plants that are being built now are bigger than the old ones. China alone is building probably a 30% increase in the worldwide demand. So for uranium. Mideast is building new reactors. Eastern Europe is building new reactors. Even the U.S. has got 2 of them that are nearing completion. So it's just a fantastically exciting time. It's been better part of a 50-year wait. With a minor exception in 05 through 08, but absolutely a very exciting time and very promising for the country in terms of its electricity demand.
What it could mean, because things look difficult and nuclear could provide that gap. And I'm very bullish on uranium and highly recommend enCore Energy. to anybody who wants to be in the uranium sector. With that,
Very
Bill,
good. Thank you.
come to a close. Thanks for the interview and keep me updated.
Thank you. Absolutely.